Hey, welcome to Jofer Jeff. I'm Jeff, and today I'm talking about a movie that came out in the year 2000. It's called Lover's Lane. It's a slasher movie that gives a unique twist on the whole urban legend of the serial killer with a hook hand. Movie opens up with a murder on Lover's Lane. A couple are in a car attacked by a maniac with a hook for a hand. They try to get help from another car. They open up the doors. They find those people dead. There's the cutscene right there. Turns out the people in the car were not married. The husband of the high school principal and the wife of the sheriff were both dead in the car. Everybody assumes they were having an affair. It cuts to 17 years later. Their kids are now going to high school. The killer has been caught. He has a hook for a hand. He's been in an insane asylum run by a psychiatrist. Now he's played by Richard Sanders. If you used to watch WKRP in Cincinnati, you'll recognize him as Les Nessman. And he's been in charge of the psychopath for all these years. He has a daughter who goes to high school. Her boyfriend is the principal's daughter or son. And then the sheriff has a daughter. She's one of the nerdy librarian girls. Now the psychiatrist and the sheriff are half-brothers. They don't really establish much of a relationship other than saying they're half-brothers, but that's it. So it gets kind of confusing and a little bit muddled in all the personal relationships, but here's the gist of the story. The maniac busts out of the insane asylum just as the kids are planning their one-night party at Lover's Lane. Now the girl, who's the daughter of the psychiatrist, she's kind of a bitch. She breaks up with her boyfriend, or he breaks up with her, however you want to put it. But she's going to get revenge with his best friend. She arranges that she's going to get caught having sex with his best friend on Lover's Lane. So the kids show up, they're about to get busted, they open the door, and they find them both dead. Oh my god, we're being attacked by a maniac. Now the characters are very stereotypical. You got the dumb jock, you got the dumb jock's girlfriend who's kind of a bitch, you got the cheerleader who's actually a really nice girl, you got the dorky tag-along guy, and you got the sweet, innocent, virginal character ripped from She's All That, and you have the preppy, great guy. They get attacked by the maniac. The jock gets killed right away. They drive off, and of course in all these situations, when they drive off, they must panic and crash into something shortly down the road. Even though they're in the car and safe, they must panic and, oh no, look out, crash. So they crash the car, and the girlfriend of the dead jock wants to go back after him. She runs off, you hear her scream. Everybody else, they'd head for this farmhouse. Now the dorky hang-along guy has a broken leg, and they get to the farmhouse, they don't find anybody there. They try to survive as the maniac attacks. Now that's as far as I'm going to go with plot right now. And let me tell you about the movie. Faris is in it. This is one of her first starring roles. She plays the cheerleader. And of course she would go on to star in the Scary Movie franchise and a whole bunch of other stuff. She's awesome in the movie. Everybody's pretty much awesome in the movie. There's not really bad acting. The screen quality is a little off. The colors are very muted. It's very dark. It's hard to see what's in the dark. The film quality is just really not there. Music is pretty good, the soundtrack and everything. It's generally scary. I would recommend it. It's not a really popular film. You have to look around for it. It's hit DVD, but it's long out of print. So if you find a copy, snag it right away. It's very hard to come by. Now I'm going to spoil the movie for you. So the kids are in the farmhouse, and the killer has been there ahead of time and dispatched everybody. You got the guy with the broken leg, you got the cheerleader, you got the preppy, and the nerdy girl. Preppy and nerdy girl, who are the children of the murder victims from the earlier murder, go into the garage. They find a car. They're going to try and hotwire it. Killer attacks nerdy girl and or not nerdy girl, cheerleader, and the nerdy guy. Cheerleader gets it in the gut, and then this is the part where it ruins the movie. There are two killers, and you know that because she's being chased by the killer. She runs into a bedroom, locks the door, sits on the bed, and then there's a killer under the bed. So instantly there you know there are two killers. The guy on the nerdy guy has broken his leg, so he's kind of passed out on the table, but he wakes up and the killer is standing over him. He gets the hook and a couple of knives in his legs, so he dies. The other two are in the garage trying to start the car. They get it started. As they turn on the car, they see somebody, they think it's the killer, they ram through it. It turns out to be the jock's girlfriend, who was kind of being used as like a puppet or something. They run over her. They drive up to the house, they find their two friends dead. They're stranded in the house now. They basically rig it where they pull the gas line. They set up a little door trap. Killer breaks through the door, they run out the window, the house explodes. Movie over, killer dead. Not quite. The killer is revealed to be Les Nessman from WKRP, the psychiatrist. It turns out he was in love with his brother's wife. And he tried to tell her, she rebuked him, he ended up killing her. The principal's husband came in, he killed him too, and he set it up as they were killed on Lover's Lane, and he framed the guy with the metal hook hand. So look, there are actually 3 killers in this movie, because the psychiatrist and his daughter are in on it together. She's doing it to get revenge on her friends. She really wasn't dead when they caught her in the car in Lover's Lane. Only the boyfriend was. Well, she runs across the steel hooked hand killer, for real, thinks it's her father, and she gets offed pretty quickly. So you got the psychiatrist dressed up as the serial killer, you have the serial killer dressed up as the serial killer. We have the final confrontation between the psychiatrist and the 2 kids. The sheriff shows up, they get into a fight, and his daughter grabs the steel hook, rams it in his back, killing him. End of movie, everybody's happy, except the serial killer with the steel hook is still loose. Now, he's only killed 1 person so far, and that was the psychiatrist's daughter. They have a nice ending scene where they're getting into the ambulance, and you just see the driver close the door with a steel hook. End of movie. I really liked it. It stayed with me all these years. I rented it when it came out. I thought it was great. It's not the greatest movie, but definitely a watchable slasher movie. Who else is in? Sarah Lancaster. She's been in Saved by the Bell, The New Class. A lot of the movies I end up watching have people who've been in that movie, or in that show. Because I just did Indigenous, and Lindsay McKeon was in it, and then now Sarah Lancaster. She was also on Scrubs, and she's been in a couple other movies. Overall, I'd say watch it. Like I said, this has been out of print for a while. It's hard to find, so if you do find a copy, snag it. It's nice. There's no Blu-ray release so far, but I think you should watch it. It's a great movie. I've always liked The Killer with the Steel Hook urban legend. They do a pretty good job of extending it, and I think you should check it out. So, please leave any comments below, and thanks for watching. This is Joe for Jeff.